What's up, guys and girls and whales? Welcome to my first complaining video. Because we all love to hear about complaining, right? I know why you guys are here. You are probably unlucky, just like me, and you probably drew a Zhongli last banner. Some of you actually want to play Zhongli and wanted to get him and got him, but he's underwhelming, and you're expecting this 1.3 patch to save him, right? I mean, we've seen like other YouTubers get hyped, like Mtashed and all these other whale YouTubers. They're hyping this 1.3 patch, saying Zhongli's gonna be OP or semi OP. I mean, I looked at the patch. It's not that good. First of all, guys, don't listen to Mtashed and all the other those whale YouTubers and think these 1.3 buffs are any good. These whales with their refined 5 Jade Wing Spears, they don't know how hard it is to play normal Zhongli. Or play Zhongli with like free-to-play weapons and 3-star weapons, 3-star, 4-star artifacts. Like these whales with C6 Zhongli, they spend like 20 to 135,000 Primogems just to get C6 unit, and then they spend the rest on daily resin, recharge, and just farm artifacts like crazy. Well, what about you and me? I don't have a 5-star weapon. I don't have much resources. It took 70 pulls just to get a Zhongli, and I can say he is not fucking worth it. None of those 70 pulls was worth it at all. Maybe I'm just unlucky, but I'm sure you guys feel the same. But I think we should be getting like at least a 5-star worth pull. At the time I made this video, Albedo and Ganyu are already out. So you know how strong a 5-star pull should be. You know how strong Albedo is. Albedo is also a 5-star Geo support, just like Zhongli. But the difference is, Albedo has an aimable, spammable, undestroyable construct you can leave in the field while you switch out to your main DPS. While the DPS, as long as he hits the opponent consecutively, you will gain access to unleash shields as well as tons of Geo energy, even if Albedo is not on the field. Now that's freaking broken. Another broken character would be Ganyu because of her typing, which is Cryo. This allows her to trigger all the strongest elemental reactions in the game, like Superconduct for your DPS, Melt for those 300k deal damage, Frozen with those Hydro supports like Mona. Not to mention, whenever Ganyu SSS or uses her special skill, you basically, after the duration ends, your energy for your whole party is basically full already, as well as hers. So you just spam it every 15 seconds. Meanwhile, we have Zhongli. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure you guys have already seen enough gripe videos about Zhongli. I mean, me too. Like I've tried to look for anything encouraging about Zhongli. Maybe I was looking for possible insight to how they could buff Zhongli, but I didn't see any YouTube videos regarding that. So the purpose of this video is simple. We want certain changes I will offer some certain changes that might be, hopefully MiHoYo sees it, and hopefully it will get implemented, and I believe that it will make Zhongli 5 stars without making him broken. Because if we leave it to MiHoYo right now, like they don't know what the heck they're doing, guys. They fucked Zhongli over in the first place. Even now that I see the 1.3 patch, they still don't know what they're doing. They don't know which direction to bring Zhongli in because they just don't know. Let me explain. So, first buff on the 1.3 patch is the auto attack. and the pillar. They both gain 1.3% extra damage from your HP. Let's face it, guys. It's still crap damage. I don't understand why they would do this, MiHoYo, because first of all, Zhongli is not a DPS. His innate stat is geo damage, which means he won't be as good as a DPS as other units like Razor, who has innate talent, who has an innate stat of physical damage increase, or Keqing, which has a crit damage innate increase. Like, you can't outscale those monsters as a DPS 5-star. Razor's just like a 4-star. You cannot out DPS that with Zhongli, even with that 1.3% HP buff. Now, what's even sadder is I look at other videos and comparing the DPS of Zhongli. A full physical Zhongli still underperforms against a Xiangling with the same build, same talents. He actually does 10% less damage than Xiangling. Even with this buff, that 1.3 extra percent buff, he might slightly overpass Xiangling, but Xiangling's a 4-star free to play character, like, out DPSing Xiangling does not mean shit. So I don't think, basically what MiHoYo is doing is they're setting him up to become a DPS, a subpar DPS, and it's gonna fail again. What Zhongli is supposed to be a support burst, and they should have augmented that to make his role a lot clearer. They should have buffed either his shield a lot more or his burst. Now, let me get into that. So, first, I want to talk about his E first, the tap E. This tap E is already problematic, right? Like, if you compare it side by side to the MC Traveler's E, Zhongli's E is only like 1/3 the size of the boulder. It's hard to freaking block, like from a ruin guard, like those 6 missiles. You'll have to stand really close to here, and hopefully the missiles don't arc and hit you in the back. But if you hide behind the boulder of MC Traveler, you're not gonna get hit, period. That's just sad, like, that makes this, like, out of all the Geo characters that has constructs, like, let's say Ningguang, they have like wide walls. This guy only has, like, look how thin it is. It's just like as thin as he is. It's like he's sticking out his finger instead of his fist, like, come on, Morax. This is supposed to be a goddamn spear, like, you're Morax, you're the Geo Archon. You're the one who freaking made the Guin Forest. You speared all those gods. And you can't even, like, you're just gonna produce this small of a, man, how, that's just sad, Now, next thing is, since this shit is so narrow, like, imagine going up against enemies. When you cast this, it will only hit like 1 or 2 enemies, and that's if they're close to you and close to each other, Whereas, look at the range on this. It goes all the way back, and it hits 3 to 4 maybe well-spaced opponents. Look at Zhongli. Look at the max range. It's only up to here. So you have to go up to the opponent, size them up, estimate the distance, and cast. Because you can't aim this shit. Now, the other problem with this is it disappears when you cast it on a boss. Come on, dude. You're supposed to be able to spear them with this shit. Like, it should, in my opinion, to make this a 5-star, they should stagger. And this should not disappear when you cast it. It should push the boss a little bit, but it should still produce itself, you know? It should still stay there. It shouldn't disappear. And most of all, the problem with this pillar is that it takes like 1 or 2 shots to destroy it. With a strong boss, like the wolf, it gets wrecked really fast. They should make this durable, so at least you can hide behind it, you know, while this generates shields, so you can just pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Hopefully they would change it so the width of this thing, of this pillar, should be at least 2 pillars wide. That would make it doable, because, I mean, come on, the Traveler has like, this is like three pillars, you know? I'm sure they could make this E at least twice as wide. So, one last hopeful buff that they do is MiHoYo should, when you cast this tap E, this should stagger the opponent. Just as how this basically, this blows up opponents when you cast a Traveler's E. It sends them flying, you know. With the tap E of Zhong, it just moves the opponent. Let's see if I can find opponents for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Yes, this is just sad, you know. There you go. Look at this. You cast, he just moves, right? You cast this, fucking makes him fly. That's what this pillar should do. It should not just like move them, displace them. It should just stagger the whole opponent. That would make this move OP. So to recap, the changes to make this pillar OP is number 1, it should be more durable. It should be wider, maybe twice as wide. It should stagger. And it should not disappear when you cast it on the boss. Now let's go to the second problem of Zhong. According to the buffs in 1.3, the hold E is going to provide a debuff to the opponents, right? Minus 20% physical resistance, minus 20% elemental resistance. Only if the shield is up and they are within a certain distance from you. I think that's crap. It would have been nice. The debuff would have been nice, except for that condition. They should have removed that condition. What they should have done is when you cast this, all the opponents that get hit will have an automatic debuff, regardless if you have the shield is still up or not. You know, it's like a superconduct. You know, when it applies to them, it doesn't go away until a certain amount of seconds. But in this case, if this shit breaks, that debuff is gone. And for high level monsters, it's easy to break the Zhong shield, especially in Spiral. It takes like 1 or 2 hits. And another thing is this shield. Take a look at it. Let's see another angle. It doesn't produce any energy particles. I'll do a same hold E for Diona. Same cooldown, but 4 or 5 particles. See? 5 particles. Zhong should have energy particles. I mean, it's a given. That's how you generate energy. Either you attack 4 times the opponent, or you use your skills. Why is this not giving particles? Come on, MiHoYo. And finally, we all know how bad the shield is. It takes 2 freaking seconds to cast. On the first second, you can still actually take damage. So if you have like something that throws like a homing move like those Abyss Mages, and it hits you right in the face, like with a low HP, like right now, you're gonna die. Which makes which makes you not want to cast your shield, right? Because you're still going to get hit in that 1 second. So they should change that. They should make it, how to make this like a 5-star skill is, you know how Child's shield, when he does that water shield thingy, like he parries all damage while he's casting it. Maybe not all damage. Like it doesn't have to be invulnerable. You can also take maybe like 80% less damage, so at least, you know, or 90%. So at least you're not afraid. Even if you're like swarmed, you can just cast it in front of your face because you're not taking that much damage. And your shield's not taking that much damage. That would make this skill 5 stars. Because, you know, like, I'm sure if you've played against the boss Child, like he has that homing thunder one-shot move. If you cast this right at the right moment, you'll be able to not die. Because sometimes you don't have stamina left, you know? You're out of stamina. You can't dodge. The only way is either you SS and do that invulnerable frame, or hopefully they could do that. Like that 2 second, like when they cast it, he becomes invulnerable. Because that's what the point of Zhong Li. He gives up his elemental skill for a defensive skill. And he's supposed to be the tankiest of all the Geo Archons. And he's supposed to have some sort of tanky skill. Which, not just his shield. His shield is just like 5k damage. It's like 5k extra HP. That's it. It doesn't reduce damage. It just gives him extra 5k HP. Which is like what? 1 artifact. It's garbage. So to recap, how to make this hold EOP. First, according to 1.3, make the debuff so without the condition of having the shield up, just whoever gets hit will be applied the debuff for 12 seconds. Make this shield give 3 to 4 geoparticles when you cast it. And third, give the first 2 seconds casting of this skill invulnerability or reduced damage. That would make this skill 5-star. Now, the only issue now would be the ult. I mean, this is a good SS. It has a wide range, a wide AoE, good range, but it has bad scaling with HP. So it doesn't really incentivize you to build HP because you'll be losing more on damage. If, hopefully, they can buff this to 66% max HP. So you're not really losing much if you build HP instead of attack. You know, you'll still be able to balance your character. You don't have to go all DPS in order to be effective, your burst to be effective. You can build HP and attack and still do enough damage. You can still be tanky and do enough damage. Because at this point, you're just going to be a nuker if you're just going to go all attack. Which is stupid because that makes your shield useless. Because it'll be able to absorb less damage. So that's how it's supposed to be. So again, to make this meteor even better, hopefully they will increase the scaling of that talent from 33% to 66%. And that's it, guys. Hopefully we get some real buffs, not just the 1.3 buffs that Mihoyo is gonna make, because it's not enough. It's really bad. Like if you look at it closely, it does not really help the role of Zhong Li, which is support and burst. You know, like it doesn't give him utility. They just gave him damage, which he doesn't really have already in the first place. So it'll make him a subpar damage. He's not worth the slot. He's not worth the 5 slot. He's not a 5-star. He's not worth the 70 pull, 80 pulls sometimes. Heck, I'd even pick this over Zhong Li. Thank you guys for watching. I know this has been a long video, so this is my first video. It's kind of raw, so Hopefully, I shed some light. Hopefully, Mihoyo sees this and makes some appropriate changes. That's it. Thank you very much.